Welcome to the IME Community Podcast, where self-love is your superpower to achieve your weight and life goals and make your mark in the world. Your host is Dr. Carla, activist, MD. If you're a teen who's looking to revolutionize your health and can't wait to follow your dreams, welcome to the IME community.
I'm so happy that you're joining for week 3 of the Reverse Your Insulin Resistance Challenge. It's urges, cravings, and buffers. Oh my. Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. Have you watched The Wizard of Oz? I hope so. Watch out for the creepy monkeys. I was so scared of them when I was little and I watched that movie. Okay, I hope you've been joining in for weeks 1 and 2. If not, it's not too late to join. There's nothing official, there's no official way to join or register for the Reverse Your Insulin Resistance 12-week challenge. It's free, it's for everyone, and I hope teens are joining in, and I hope parents of teens are joining in as a family affair because it's awesome. Okay, so week 1 was taking action and making a decision one day ahead of time. So planning ahead from your higher executive functioning brain. So that will help you stay on track for your goals. Okay, that was week 1. All you have to do is go on TikTok, follow at IME Community, or go on Instagram, IME_community, or like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, IME Community, and follow along with the weekly YouTube videos. Go to IME Community Podcast and like and subscribe on Apple or Spotify and listen to the weekly podcast, and that'll give you the lowdown, okay? You can subscribe to the IME Community email by going to the website, and you get the free Make It Fun to Get It Done 3-day email challenge, and then you'll get all of the weekly emails for the Reverse Your Insulin Resistance Challenge. And that's if you're an overachiever, somebody who's organized and wants to have it all there kind of laid out for the week, and that'll just really keep you on track. So on TikTok, I do a daily video, and I do a TikTok live every day where I coach people, and it's been really amazing, and we've done some amazing coaching, and I really am supporting everybody as they're leveling up with their food changes. Some people are cutting back on sugar. A lot of them are adults, so they're needing to do that. They have maybe diabetes, and they really have some significant health issues. I know that teens do too. I've taken care of a lot of patients, so this is a really great time for teens to be engaged in this, because I've taken care of so many patients who are children and teens who have insulin resistance. And if you have insulin resistance, you probably have a weight problem. You probably have a family history of a weight problem. You may have prediabetes. You may have something called fatty liver disease. Maybe your doctor's told you your cholesterol numbers are elevated. There's some host of constellation of issues that create insulin resistance or that are due to insulin resistance. So this is a great time to participate in the Reverse Your Insulin Resistance Challenge and create a 12-week habit stick that's going to set you on a healthier path. So this week, like I said, we're talking urges, cravings, and buffers. Oh my. And we all know way too well what urges and cravings are, because we're humans. We all have them, right? Especially when we try to strike a balance with our eating. And I really noticed this 4 years ago in September 2017 is when I started my weight and life coaching journey and started learning about all this. And I can tell you that I had so many urges and cravings, and I didn't even know they were there until I started making changes in my eating. And any change that we have in our eating can make us have increased urges and cravings. And so when I was going through my weight loss journey, I remember really wanting to chew my left arm off or bite someone's head off, because I was just so irritable and emotional as I was cutting back on sugar that I was used to kind of looking forward to and had a lot of over desire for, and was buffering away what I perceived were negative emotions or painful emotions that were coming up for me during the day. Okay. And that's because the reason I was having so much problem was because I'd been giving so much power for so long to the urges. But the good news is, I want to tell you, is that even though I still have urges and cravings, we're always going to have urges and cravings, but they can feel like a little like wave instead of like a huge tsunami hitting us, okay? And even though I still have the urges and cravings, I've learned how to allow the urges instead of buffering all my emotions with food. And I'll teach you what a buffer is soon, okay? So when we have an urge or a craving, like I said, there's nothing going wrong. And I want you to just take things super slow. It's not going to be like a flip of a switch where we learn how to allow our urges and then we're done with it, okay? That's not how life works. I want you to take it super slow and just have a goal of creating self-awareness and be curious. You're a watchful observer of your mind, creating thought awareness. So then you can shift to a thought that serves you, right? Because you are not your thoughts, and thoughts are optional, but we don't even have awareness of some of the thoughts that create our feelings that come up in our brain. Okay, and I want to help you get unstuck from urges and cravings. And I know, especially like for teens with pandemic weight gain and then also being home for the summer, that there's a lot of like mindless eating and snacking and buffering going on and just like conditioned and habituated eating of those kind of sugary foods. Again, nothing's going wrong, but let's talk about how you can create, and I can help you create a healthier way forward, and you can get freedom from urges, cravings, freedom from stress eating, and freedom from buffering, and freedom from emotional eating. And doesn't that sound amazing? And all you have to do is join IME community and become a member. And it's only $24.95 a month. And I made it the most accessible web-based platform for teens. And you just click on Zoom and you get me as your life and weight coach, and you get live coaching. And I have a whole content library of courses that are going to help you get to where you want. And then I am also working my member community teens through the Reverse Your Insulin Resistance Challenge. So you get the coaching you need as it comes up as we're doing this work, okay? It's absolutely incredible. And I coach parents too once a month so I can help you support your teens' health independence. And I absolutely love doing that. Parents are amazing. And I'm a parent too. My kids are 20, almost 18, and almost 15. So, I mean, I really have been through a lot of the same things and have the same issues, and we all continue to go through it so we can support each other. All right, so join the community. It's awesome. So we're going to focus on how to allow urges, and I'll tell you right now, you're not broken if you have urges or cravings, okay? Everybody has them, like I said, and we're all in the same boat. It's truly a process of learning, creating self-awareness, and when you know and understand fully that urges, they're not going to go away. You're still going to have them, but you learn the skills to allow them, and I'm going to teach you that, okay? It's just learning. You learn the skills to allow them, and you learn to be in the moment of feeling the emotions that are coming up for you that lead you to buffering with food. That's really all you need, okay? And like I said, it's not like a switch. It's kind of like a dissipation, like it kind of fades over time, like a process. Remember, I say this a lot, progress, not perfection. Perfect does not exist. Perfection is a lie. It's a waste of our time and our lives to pursue it. It doesn't exist. Perfectionism is a waste of your time. Perfect does not exist. It is a lie. Okay? We're going to have urges and cravings. We're going to mess up. We're going to have negative feelings and pain. That's life. Okay? Our thoughts create our feelings, and our feelings drive our actions or behaviors. Urges are feelings that are created by our thoughts. And I kind of almost look at urges as habit thoughts in our brain that create what we perceive as negative or painful feelings. Urges and cravings are also like habituated or conditioned pathways in our brain, and it's like brain science, which is really interesting and nerdy. And if you understand how our food system has contributed to this, and these habits and this conditioning in our brain, you're going to give yourself a massive break, and you're going to have lots of grace and compassion for yourself because it really makes sense. It's just like science, okay? So we've got a ton of added sugar to our foods. We get an immediate dopamine zing when we eat a sugary food, which is like a real pleasure feeling right away in our brain when we eat a sugary food. It's called a short term, like a false pleasure. in life. Ready for the more science? Okay. Most likely you have a thought that's permissive or judging or shaming yourself when an urge comes up. So again, like, I'm the queen, probably the king of both types of those thoughts. And there's no shame here. We're just learning, okay? If this is all a shame trigger for you and you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about it, I promise, just think, oh man, Dr. Carla said she's the queen and maybe even the king of all this stuff, okay? And I'm not going to coach you on anything I haven't already gone through, okay? Awesome. So a permissive thought is one that's like, I deserve this. I've worked hard all day. It's been a really stressful day, and I've earned eating this. I've earned this food. I deserve this food. A shaming thought is one that's like, might as well eat this because I never stick with anything. It doesn't matter. Just screw it. Okay? Those are the thoughts that come up when we have an urge and we buffer with the food. Then we take the action to eat the food instead of allowing this emotion that's coming up and allowing the urge. Okay? So believe me, I've lived and I continue to live with this. And I've been talking a lot about learning to feel our emotions in a way that we respond by recognizing, creating a pause and then a shift instead of reacting, avoiding, or resisting our natural human emotions that come up for us. We haven't been taught this skill in our families or our society, right? In fact, we've been taught the opposite. To suppress, to not talk about our feelings or emotions, to buffer our emotions with food, social media, online shopping, overworking, perfectionism, all of the things, right? Many of us buffer with lots of things. I didn't know before I did this work all the different things that I buffered with. And I still fall into this trap. It's called like numbing out, okay? Buffering or numbing out. So, when a natural human emotion comes up that we sense as negative or painful, we believe something is wrong and we need to fix it. And then what better way to get out of what we believe is a negative emotion and pain than getting a quick dopamine zing from a sugary food? No shame here, just learning. Again, I'm the queen of buffering and emotional reactivity as well. Let's add that on to my list as well, okay? And that's been the amazing power for me of showing up every day to learn these life coaching skills with intention that help me to be more intentional about allowing all of my human emotions, not apologizing for them. And that helps me allow urges and not go to food for a quick sugary fix, okay? So remember, self-love superpower. Lots of self-compassion here with this as we're working through this, because this is challenging and this is hard, okay, for all of us. And I'm here to help you get unstuck. So our brains are conditioned by the food we have in our society, right? And then we talked about the lack of allowing vulnerability in feeling our emotions, when we actually have research now from Dr. Brene Brown about courage is vulnerability, okay? So we got to switch that narrative, right? So I'm not saying we got to be all like kumbaya and sit around and sing and hold hands and be all wacky about it, okay? I promise, okay? This is powerful work, though. So what's buffering? I keep saying that word. What's buffering? So I trained to become a life and weight coach at the Life Coach School. Shout out to the Life Coach School. It's awesome. And the definition from the Life Coach School of buffering is when we use external things to change how we feel emotionally, which I think is so powerful. So we're not looking internally and we're not trusting ourselves, but we're looking externally to food or social media, shopping, overworking, overstudying, perfectionism, all these things to fix what we feel, what we're feeling. So we buffer when we don't want to experience a certain type of emotion, okay? Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid discomfort and keep us in the status quo, which I've talked about. That's the motivational triad for humans. That's how our brains work. And then we're also in our society constantly bombarded with ways to feel pleasure, okay? And the more power we give to these pathways in our brain, the more powerful the pathways become. So what we focus on, we create more of. Like I said, the reason I had so many problems with urges and cravings when I was changing what I was eating was because I've been giving so much power over to the urges in that pathway in my brain for so long and reinforcing it with the dopamine zings and the food and the false reward pleasures. Okay, so it was a really strong, powerful pathway. Children and teens, you all have been seen as commodities for food companies. So it makes sense that we're stuck in this like pleasure-seeking, emotion-avoidant buffering with foods that don't serve us society. Okay? We also become entitled to feeling happy and pleasure all the time. But the truth of life is that we aren't happy or feeling pleasure all the time. I mean, that's just not the human experience. It's going to be more 50-50, 50 positive, 50 negative, or just a more balance of emotions. In fact, these short-term false rewards or pleasures in life can be way better, or life can be way better without false pleasures and by creating true pleasures and showing up as our true self for our true lives. All right? That's a ton of content right there. Okay? Ready for week 3 of the Reverse Your Insulin Resistance Challenge to go through the days of the week? I'm ready. Let's go. Okay. Monday motivation. I want to ask you, like, what are the ways that you buffer? Food, social media, shopping, sleeping, procrastination, all of the above. No shame. You're just getting information and you are creating awareness, okay? What are the negative consequences of buffering in your life? Poor health, weight gain, not achieving your goals, not getting the grade you want, feeling a lot of negativity. What are they? How will you manage your urges to give in to buffering? So start recognizing when you have an urge and think about stimulus control and contingency management. I know these are really big words. I talked about these last week. So what that really means is that think about the times when you're really triggered with an urge or a craving and you're going to like buffer with food and you try to clean up your food environment or make a decision or plan ahead of time, okay? Because you can create an environment and a plan that's going to help decrease your urges and cravings that lead you to buffering, okay? That's Monday motivation. Tuesday tracking, what times of the day do you have urges and cravings and tend to buffer with food? So write it down. What are some of the trigger foods for you that once you start eating them, you get in kind of a fog eat, okay? And it's okay, I promise you can learn to eat those in moderation, no problem. But get foods on your plan also that serve you if you are truly hungry, because you may be truly hungry when you have an urge or craving, okay? So you get internal, you check in, and eat foods that do serve you, okay? And when you have an urge, craving, or desire to buffer, okay? Wednesday wisdom. After you've allowed about 100 urges without buffering, the urges do start to kind of dissipate. They're not going to go away, right? And allowing an urge means feeling your emotions that are coming up instead of looking to an external source like food to fix your feelings. So since buffering with food is what you do to avoid pain, when you stop buffering, you're going to feel pain. And the fact of the matter is, even if you're buffering, the emotion's still there, even when you buffer with food. And I promise you can handle it, because you are handling it. You are handling it on some level. You can learn the skill to allow your human emotions. And I really love the book Live Wired by David Eagleman, who's a neuroscientist, researcher, and writer at Stanford. It's super interesting. Brene Brown did a podcast with him, and I loved it, and I got his book. And it's so hopeful because his research shows that our brains are malleable and adaptable. If we challenge our brains, we can create new pathways. So what we focus on, we can create more of, okay? So keep giving all your power away to urges. You'll keep buffering and you're going to stay stuck. Start challenging your brain and start allowing your emotions, and you will be well on your way to break the cycle. So you can get unstuck, if that's even a word. I think it is. You can unstuck your brain. So cool, so nerdy. Thursday thoughts. What emotions are you attempting to avoid when you buffer with food or whatever you're buffering with? What are your thoughts that cause your emotions you're trying to avoid when you buffer? Our thoughts create our feelings or emotions. So what are those thoughts? That's going to take some time. You're going to have to get curious to kind of create some self-awareness around those thoughts, thought awareness. Remember, you're not your thoughts, and thoughts are optional. You don't have to continue to choose for those thoughts to be true. Okay? Friday fun. Can you shift to other thoughts that serve you? Once you have thought awareness, you're aware of the emotions that are coming up for you that are triggering you to buffer with food, and you can start to shift to other thoughts that serve you. How can you enjoy food? Keep it simple. And I'm going to have an exciting life and keep my food simple. I'm going to eat food that serves me and reach my health goals. I'm going to focus on natural, like real pleasures in life and showing up as my true self. And I'm going to enjoy the food I eat along the way. You can create your own thought that resonates and is believable to you. Okay, that's super important. Also, Friday fun, what are you doing for fun this weekend? Focus on what's fun instead of like a short-term, immediate pleasure like a sugary dopamine thing. You can get a dopamine and serotonin and all the feel-good hormones and neurotransmitters release in our brains and our bodies that will last longer and create a longer, more natural sense of well-being and achievement and feel good for us from natural pleasures, from long-term well-being pleasures, from real rewards and pleasures, and not the false immediate rewards and pleasures of sugary foods. Okay? Sunday strategy. What are the ways that you showed up as your future self this week? We talked about the future self on Friday fun of week 1 of the Reverse Your Insulin Resistance Challenge. What did you learn about yourself this week? Spend some time asking yourself these important questions. What are your true pleasures in life? What's meaningful? And if you're a teen, you probably will be like, I don't know. And that happens a lot when I coach teens. It's like, I don't know. I don't really know, So you get to figure it out. Just start thinking about it and start having fun. Like, what really matters to you? Like creating something, music, friends, being outside, playing something fun. I don't know. I mean, you create it, dancing around, and you're going to discover it as you go along. But you're not going to be open to this amazing, magical life that you were meant to live if you spend all your time giving the power away to the urges and cravings and the buffering with food and prioritizing those like little false pleasures and short-term rewards. Okay? So get on TikTok at IME Community. Get on Instagram, IME_community. Start following along the Reverse Your Insulin Resistance Challenge. Sign up for the email list. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and the IME Community podcast on Apple and Spotify. You're going to get everything you need. We're week 3, just launching it out of 12 weeks of Reverse Your Insulin Resistance Challenge. It's so exciting. Urges, cravings, and buffers. Oh my. Week 4, get ready, because I'm going to do all movement counts fitness. And I'm sure I'll come on the podcast and YouTube video and I'll say, wow, this is the most important week we've had yet. I'm so excited. Okay. Show up for coaching on TikTok Live and Instagram. And the most important thing you can do as a teen, 12 to 18, or a parent of a teen, is join the member community at IME Community. So go to the website, imecommunity.com, and click on Join the Community and just sign up. I mean, it's amazing. It's $24.95 a month, and you get me as your life and weight coach, and you get this amazing content that's in our library. You get your own member login on Kajabi, and you get Ask Dr. Carla message board. So you get tons of support. It's an amazing value, and I coach the parents too. So share with everybody and get ready. Let's go. Week 3. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to the IME Community Podcast, where self-love is your superpower. The content of this podcast represents the opinions of Dr. Carla Lester and is not intended as, and shall not be understood as, a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The opinions shared reflect the host and guest and do not represent an organization or medical group. Always seek the advice of your physician or therapist if you have concerns about your health. And please, like and subscribe to the IME Community Podcast. Share IME with your friends and go to imecommunity.com to join the member community. Don't forget to follow IME on social.